What's good, y'all, and welcome to the first of 8 showcases yet to come. We are going to tackle Beelzebub, the Lord of the Flies, as our first hero to see if he truly is as good as people said, or if that just was a bunch of hopium.
Our research begins.
But yeah, let's get straight into it. We'll start off with base stats, because that's what we all care about. Okay, so 2300 attack at A0, and just as a reminder for all of you, a Dolores has a beautiful 2662. That is obviously including the A2, but yeah, basically Saris has, for the moment, 300 lower base attack than a Dolores. So that's the first thing we'll be able to notice, which is interesting. Definitely is interesting. But yeah, let's continue onwards. What else do we have? The HP is whatever at 10,000. The magic, the defense is a bit low. The magic resistance is really high. The range. Do you see this range? This is basically Lily or Sunday range if they have a Piercer Lord, right? Like this square right here is the normal healer range, and this is one more, so that gives him a lot of flexibility. Attack interval, he actually benefits surprisingly enough from attack speed, so that is something he has above Dolores. His rage region on basic attack is 10, his rage region on getting attacked is 6. Alright, I think with that we have like the most standard things out of the way. Are you ready for the skills? Because I'm not. Okay, talent. Damage dealt by the hero and the Putrid Flies inflicts slow on the targets. Putrid Flies inherits 100% of the hero's attributes, roam within the hero's basic attack range and deal 100% damage to 5 enemies with basic attacks. Another summoner. Slow. Movement speed minus 50%, so not the strongest slow, but basically the second strongest we have with 75% beating him. Basic attack deals 100% AoE damage to 5 enemy targets. Periodic rage region per attack plus 20? What does that mean? What does that mean, right? Does he restore rage faster or slower than a Dolores? Okay, Plague of Ruin, 3-second cooldown. During the ultimate, the hero and the Putrid Flies, so his summons, release Plague of Ruin one time every 3 seconds, dealing 150% AoE damage to up to 10 targets and inflicting vulnerability magic with plus 10% damage taken on them. Okay. Now the most important part. Darkness Rising. During the ultimate, applies 50% inspiration to allies in the hero's skill range, reduces the attack interval of allied summons adjacent to the Putrid Flies by 30%. So 50% inspiration, and for those that are already in the know, a Dolores has a total of 60% inspiration, right? She has 60% inspiration, 900 rage cost, and my man over here has oh yeah, and also it says during the ultimate, so it's not a permanent inspiration, it's 50% and it only during ultimate, and the ultimate of him also has a 900 rage cost. Summon Putrid Flies. The Putrid Flies generate a powerful vortex that pulls up to 10 nearby enemies towards its center with 2 times strength and inflicts slow on them. The vortex lasts for 5 seconds. I have a dumb idea. Could this work in Gear Dungeon 2? To like pull away that guy. But yeah, 22-second duration. How long is the duration of a Dolores? Dolores also has a 22-second duration. So they are equal. Equal in duration and less in effect. But what we haven't yet quite pointed out is that my man over here, Beelzebub, he's a mage. You know what that means? If you're a mage, you can equip the Tear of motherfucking Twilight. So yeah, he can equip the Tear of Twilight to increase his attack by an additional 30%, which might just be enough to fill the gap between the two. We'll find out all about that. So yeah, that's his skill kit. You will have seen the animations and everything in between already. So it's time we do some testing between him and Dolores. Obviously, before we forget about it, we have to talk about the awakenings. A1, the vulnerability of M damage inflicted by Plague of Ruin, so his ultimate increases to 20%, which is kind of like the standard numbers of like Volcas, Marys, so I think that's a good thing. 300 base attack, so that means his base attack goes up to 2600, which makes him equal to Dolores. Now the question is, can a Tear of Twilight bridge the distance between 50% and 60% inspiration, and can a Xaris regenerate rage as fast as a Dolores? Those are like the most important factors. When basic attack deals damage to the target, restores 2% rage. If he can't, then the A3 is probably what allows him to. A4, cost -2. And A5, if the target receives 2 instances of Plague of Ruin within 3 seconds, they will take 1 additional instance of true damage equal to 100% of the hero's attack. Okay, so at least from the way it reads, A3 seems to be a must-have. So, alright, we'll do some initial testing and let's get into it. Alright, yes, so here we are. It's time for some initial testing. We'll be first having a look at A0 Xaris and A5 Dolores and then A3 Xaris. So, the game plan is very simple. Both are going to be running a Rage Regen ring. The only important part is that they have Rage Regen and some attack speed. So Xaris gets 70 attack speed, he actually benefits from attack speed, and obviously the Tear of Twilight, because if you're running Xaris, you most likely want to run him in a Tear of Twilight. Dolores, same thing, 60% Rage Regen, 71 attack speed. The attack speed doesn't matter for Dolores, and Dolores gets the Golden Scarab, because if you truly want to run a Dolores, you will want to run her in a Golden Scarab at 25. We are going to compare true endgame right here. So we're going to go into Regen Bar, which is the easy guild boss that doesn't actually attack your platform units, and I am pretty sure Xaris should be strong enough to at least break the shields, which just give us basically long-term comparisons. So the way we'll do this is we'll wait for both of them to reach their ultimate, to have their ultimate ready, and then we're going to trigger their ultimates at the same time, and we'll have a look at who recharges faster. So here we go with Xaris and Dolores, both triggered at the same time, and you can see they both have their 22-second duration. So none of them has like an advantage by having like a shorter duration or something similar. So here we go. So Dolores, as you can see already with her 300 rage talent, it is a 50% chance, but it really just, I mean, it's part of her kit, right? It is indeed part of her kit. So she'll at least win this first round, you could say. Now the important question is, when Dolores reaches 100, at how much rage? Oh, Dolores reached 100, but only through her 30% kit, and Xaris is pretty close to her, already at 737. Okay. So basically what that means is that Xaris's rage regen should be slightly higher than Dolores's, because Xaris regenerated 737 in the time it took Dolores to regenerate 600. And basically what we'll be looking here at is, will Xaris be able to catch up to a Dolores, because that's still the important part. There should also be a time when a Dolores doesn't trigger. Oh, it's not a 50%, it's an 80% chance. So it's a bit more unlikely. But you can kind of see that Dolores is already at her third, while Xaris now only enters her third. And the crucial part really is that a huge 300% rage bonus, which lets Dolores really kind of like leave him in the dust. Yeah, you could say leave him in the dust, though keep in mind he is A0, so we still have that other one, and I don't really think there's a point to doing this and hoping Dolores doesn't trigger, because it's a 1 in 5. She might not trigger once more, but she again already triggered her ultimate, is almost finished with hers before Xaris even knows what's going on. Not Zarus, obviously Beelzebub. Let's see. He can break the sheet. That's perfect. So yeah, you can see Dolores is in the clear lead of around 1 ultimate. Now the last question is that going to stay this way, right? Alright, A3 Zarus versus A5 Dolores. Let's see if there's a difference, because he now apparently restores 2% rage per basic attack. Let's have a look. So, obviously Zarus in, Dolores in, and we trigger both of their ultimates at the same time. I kinda hope it isn't the case. I kinda hope he still not loses out, but at least becomes equal to a Dolores, because he would really demolish everything if he can now leave a Dolores in the dust. And obviously the last test after this is going to be the inspiration and also the effect on, for example, someone like a Kriya, because Kriya obviously introduces some more summons. So we'll be bringing in, you can already see it. Zarus is going to be the first one to get his ultimate ready. Now I haven't quite paid attention to if Dolores' talent did or did not trigger, because if it didn't trigger, at least this ultimate should allow her to kinda get back into it. But for the moment, Zarus was able to use his ultimate first. So he's already on that beautiful 20%. Dolores 0% didn't trigger, couldn't catch up. So that's rough. You can see how Dolores really struggles to get these percentages, and even though it doesn't look completely clear, but you can kind of see that even if Dolores were to trigger her talent more reliably, she would still lose out, because I guess Zarus has the unfair benefit of being able to restore rage while doing his attacks, right? So basically Zarus gets a permanent Dolores A5 in which he restores rage while his ultimate is active. So he uses his gauge to 0, the duration is still on, but his percentage rage gained through his A3 still restores rage. So there you can see A3 Zarus has now completely overtaken Dolores, which makes his A3 probably one of the most important awakenings to get. Okay, so we got this set. Okay, so this is the set we're going to compare. We're going to use the same set on both Zarus coming in with that Tear of Twilight, Dolores coming in without it. And before I forget about it, we obviously need to give a set to the A0 Zarus first. Why am I calling him Zarus? It's Beelzebub. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah, there we go. Out with him, in with her. And as a unit, we take Zillitu. Why not? Let's take Zillitu. So it's gonna be pretty simple. We put in Zillitu, we activate the inspiration, we see how high the damage goes, and yes, we only use basic attacks to because it scales exactly the same. So we bring in a Zillitu, we bring in a Beelzebub. I kind of want to face him, yeah, just for this, because it makes it easier number wise. We'll face him away, because we've already seen his uptime, which means we'll face him away in a way that he still hits the Zillitu. Alright, so Zillitu in, Beelzebub in. So Zillitu does a base 37,643, and with Zarus inspiration she does 52,788. 52,788. Alright, so here we are, exact same gear set on Dolores. Let's get into it with Zillitu. And you can see the numbers right here that Bell A0 put out. Let's see if Dolores can demolish them, or if for whatever reason the Tear of Twilight allows Beelzebub to be a god. So yeah, the number to beat is 52,000. Let's have a look at how much Dolores pushes Zillitu. Here we go, ult active, 61,450. Okay, 61,450. Now the last question is, can a Beelzebub A3, potentially pull it all back around and ensure that he is now our new king. Though one positive benefit for him already is obviously the fact that he regenerates rage faster, right? His ability to regenerate rage faster is obviously pretty fucking strong. But we were looking at a raw inspiration perspective. All right, here we go. So we go with the Zillitu, with a Beelzebub, and Beelzebub ulted at a 3 goes up to 61,796. Okay. I guess Dolores is defeated. Keep in mind, not by much, but he regenerates rage faster. He regenerates rage faster. He does inspiration a bit higher. I don't think there's much to say. One thing, I mean, we could still test it in like a rage environment, but it doesn't really make sense, right? Like if you think about it, if we give him like a hollow and a laurel boost, he should be faster. So, alright, so the first conclusion is must have A3. If you want Zarus to perform at least at the level of a Dolores but have a slightly faster rage regen, you must have him at A3. Alright guys, so here we are at the last part, which is Zarus' effect on summoners. So yeah, because he apparently increases the attack speed of summoners by, of summoned beings by 30%. So we bring in Zarus, we bring in Anora. Anora is going to summon her beautiful dragon right here. And the way we do this is we just have a look at how many attacks does he do in 400, from 430 to 420. So right now, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess you could say 6. Let's say 6. Now we wait for 410. Alright. That's 1, 2, 3. You can kind of see that glow on him. 4, 5, 6. I think it's probably 7 too. You can really see that glow on him, indicating that he's indeed getting boosted. And I think he also increased in height, didn't he? In like size. So yeah. Alright, I think this concludes the summoning aspect. So let's rewind back to Zarus, talk about his kit, give an initial look out, and talk about him in general. Alright, so here we are, Beelzebub. I don't know why I keep calling him Zarus. If you're curious about who this Zarus and why I keep calling him Zarus, there you go. This is Zarus, right? Like they have similarities, okay? They're both mages from the cultist faction, leave me alone. So, number 1, he's apparently a BP beast. Have you ever seen a Dolores with 100k BP? No, I have not. Have you seen a constant with 100k? Same shit. So he has a lot of fucking BP. Okay, so overall, his basic attack gives him rage regen. His magic vulnerability is something that Dolores doesn't have, so he'll increase the magic damage taken from others, especially in, for example, an infernal team with like a Hex and a Zillitu. He's gonna be massive, because you have free vulnerability. He has less inspiration than the Dolores, but also increases the attack speed of putrid flies, as in he reduces the attack interval of the allied summoned next to them. Yeah, the caveat with this is if you get him to A3, he increases his rage, his inspiration to the same level that Dolores does, and he has the same duration and the same cost. The important part is he can equip a Tear of Twilight, and if you have him at A3, he regenerates rage faster than the Dolores and does like 0.5% better inspiration. So 0.5% better inspiration, faster inspiration, attack interval reduction, and vulnerability. But he is very much worse than the Dolores if you do not have him at A3. So it's either A3 or go home, which is kind of rough. Especially if you think about the last few rate ups we had. Like, I tried to get a hex. I used 60k gems and I got 0 hexes, which will leave me with a 0 hex. The question is, in what kind of pool do they put him and how rare he will be? So yeah, that is Xaris for you, the newest inspiration hero. He's at least not as broken as someone else made him out to be, because the leaks were false. He has neither infinite inspiration, nor does he have 3500 basic attack. Peace out, bye bye.